well to the LEC. We are coming back off of a scrappy, chaotic, but victory for Team Vitality. They took a 1-0 advantage, and I mean, it was all about Bo. It was just straight up all about Bo. But it's funny because it's one of those things that, like, if you keep that game kind of going in that direction, it's very hard to gain back control, as we saw Astralis struggle to do.
Yeah, I mean, they did a decent job of trying to pull it back. We saw that playing the top side that nearly was able to bring it back. But yeah, I think a big shishi to Bo, because that was absolutely incredible on the Wukong, stepping up massively there for his team. 10, 11 kills by the end of that, and there was just no stopping him. So especially when we saw this slip through the draft with the Lucian coming in as that priority for Astralis, back on blue side once more. I am curious to see if we still get that high priority on the Lucian, or whether they'd be like, all right, you know what, screw this, we're taking the Wukong for ourselves, we can't let Bo get his hands on that.
Yeah, we'll see what they want to try and go for right now. We are going to see kind of similar bans coming in here. The Vara still being one, the Lulu as well. So not changing up. Maybe Astralis, obviously, you know, kind of seeing that maybe 113 not having the best of impacts on that Maokai. Maybe they take it from themselves. Again, we talked about it in the last champ select. The junglers went very far down the priority before we actually saw them being picked up.
Which I was really surprised at, especially when you started to see like the vibe bans and everything coming through. But sticking to the same bands, honestly, having pretty much the exact same coming through, so no real difference here, as we're going to be seeing what Astralis is going to prioritize. Going to be the Xayah this time around, so making sure that Kobbe has a bit more of that self-peel after learning his lesson in the last game.
Yeah, he had a little bit, but now he needs even more. You got so many things, and I like this as well because we are seeing this kind of, you know, as a pick that's generally kind of traded back with the Vi. It's normally the Vi first pick we see into kind of the Xayah Rakan, but now we're seeing the Rakan picked up, and it does feel like, in my opinion, if you're going solely to kill the Xayah, I actually prefer the Wukong, because the Wukong can kind of just sit underneath her while she goes up into her feathers.
Yeah, I agree. At least it gives you some flexibility there, but it definitely is going to be a bit of a tough one, because I think not taking the Wukong here might have been a bit of a mistake, because for 113, you can actually opt in towards taking the Wukong yourself. Means you're probably looking at something like a Maokai or a Vi then for Bo, which doesn't do the best in towards the Xayah, especially if you kind of want to look at something like a Zeri or something for upset here, where he has had a good time, but with the Lulu band may not be top of the priority.
I mean, you know, the Wukong is such a huge one right now, because we see it globally. The Wukong and the Rakan is such an incredible combination between the two, but I feel like taking the Sylas means you're kind of left in the situation where you have to lock into your support. You cannot just let the Xayah go you know, kind of unpartnered, really. And honestly, right now, like, you know, we've been talking about up so much, but I would love to see Team Vitality kind of lock in that Wukong again for Bo, get him, you know, hooking up with Kaiser.
I think the only problem now is that you kind of need to take your AD carry because the Xayah is there. Like, you're looking at, I mean, a Zeri potentially, but not the best unless you want to, you can't, like, with the Rakan, well, though, maybe they're going to go for it, because you tend to want some sort of enchanter with her, but I think if you end up leaving it, then, like, Zeri Jinx gets banned, and then you're kind of in a difficult spot unless Upset wants to fall back towards the Aphelios. But now, going to take the Zeri, so chances are we're going to see a good amount of, again, Vitality. They banned away the top laners last time, got rid of things like the Malphite, which are probably a good call here once more. Whereas when we looked at Astralis, they were the ones that were actually trying to pinch that champion pool in the jungle. But I think you take the Wukong, you actually leave open the Vi this time around, because for Kobbe, you're totally fine to play against the Vi in this sort of situation.
And not only that, Sylas does fantastic with a Vi ultimate, so there's something that can get on top of the Zeri. And honestly, I actually think the Vi would be such a bait pick here for Team Vitality, because the one thing that kind of does well into a Zeri from a jungle perspective is guaranteed engage.
So we're actually going to see Vitality instead mixing it up. They're going to start banning away junglers as well. So I am curious what the plan is here. We know that Bo, like from solo queue, has just been a terror when it comes towards these carry picks. We saw, you know, Shun over in the LPL, and a couple of these guys bringing out things like the Kindred and those kind of things. So maybe this is the moment where we actually see Photon defaulting back towards something like a Malphite for himself on that top side, although you don't really want to do that against the Sylas, but some sort of mega tank in the top lane, and then providing a front line for some sort of double DPS from the jungle in the AD carry.
Well, there's the Vi as well, so we're going deep into the jungle pools now. That's 6 jungle bans. The Lee Sin does slip through, so now it's going to be 113. He's got to figure out what he wants to go for,
which is a bit of a toughie. I mean, the Elise gone as well. Probably going to default towards Jarvan. I think he can work relatively okay here. I know for Zeri, she can hop out a lot of those situations, but you can do some decent setup. Xin Zhao also wouldn't be a terrible one in this situation, where I think you can use that Crescent Guard to make sure you are safe from a lot of the damage that's coming through. That's kind of been a default for teams in LCK and LPL, but you are definitely looking deep here when it comes towards the jungle role.
And that's the thing, the LEC will be the final region to finish off, you know, when we go in towards MSI, towards internationals, where we are going to start having a bit more of a focus here on the LCK, on the LPL representatives. because they're just the ones you're going to be facing. They're the ones you're going to have to kind of go toe-to-toe with. So Xin Zhao ends up coming out here for 113. Not quite the jar, but does very similar stuff. Good early skirmisher, and actually decent enough into the Lee Sin as well, so shouldn't be too easy to bully out.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Bo is that you're not going to have a huge amount of targets for late game team fights, right? You're going to have the Sylas, who's relatively fine if you try and jump in onto him. Xayah has that ultimate as well to try and escape. So it definitely feels like Bo, a lot of his focus is going to be on trying to play around the spot side, making sure they get set up for success in the early stages, and then letting Photon, who's got the counter pick and the jacks here, scale into the later portion of the game where he's going to be able to play against Finn. But it definitely is a bit of a different route here, not having that Kled in the top end for Photon, where he can play more towards the team fight with this style. So it is going to be, again, very much dependent on can the mid jungle on both sides get that early lead and bleed that over then into side lane.
Yeah, I think the big difference here from Team Vitality, yes, they still have the Tibbers, but that's kind of their only, you know, kind of first up burst engage. After that, it's very much kind of elongating it, making sure the Zeri is set up. On the other side of this one here, again, you still have the Sylas, you still have the Olaf. You can get access to those backlines, so it's going to be about kind of, as you mentioned, these two solo laners going to have the bigger impact.
Yeah, I think the fact that you have at least some sort of heal on the Rakan, the double shields as well coming through from the Annie, means that maybe you can provide a bit more appeal for the Zeri in these fights compared to what Finn was able to do in the last game, but it's still going to be pretty difficult here. It definitely feels like a huge amount of this is once more coming down to who can get control of the early game and start to get that ball rolling.
If game one was anything to go off of, we are going to get very scrappy very quickly. Good early kind of, you know, adaptations as well. Good early kind of, honestly, kind of plays coming out from
literally the level 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you know, kind of being creative, being, you know, kind of throwing things out into off order. So then all of a sudden you're down a flash, you're down this. You don't have a lot more, but we'll see what either of these teams can do in game number 2.
Thank you very much for joining me, AoD. What did you think of Vitality's draft in the first game? Because it felt like they were copying Astralis.
I think we were actually expecting pretty much everything they did, including bans and picks, so there weren't really any surprises, I would say.
What did you tell your team going into this match? How are you going to shut down the Bo show?
I think we were willing to run it back, you know, but they kind of stopped us from doing that by changing their bans, and I think we're pretty happy with the variations as well, so we're happy.
And talk to me about the Xin Zhao pick for 113, because this was his most played champion in the LFL, but it's the first time we've seen him play at the LEC, so what are you expecting?
It is a 1-1-3 special, so we all trust it, and it's been practiced as well.
Did he ask you, pretty please, can I play him?
No, he doesn't have to. I believe in it. I'm actually one of the ones who pushes it the most, usually, so...
Brilliant. It's so fantastic to hear that, and I can't wait to see what happens in-game. So we're going to head over to Oisin and Dagda now to see how it plays out.
Thank you so much, Frankie. Love getting those little bits of insights as well. And new name. It was My Boy Bo is what I used to say, but now it's the Bo Show. Yeah. Bo Show.
Yeah, the Mad Dog in the Leash hasn't been as, you know, right, I'll say correct for Bo this time around. He's been a lot more solo, but still been working out well for him. Now we'll have to see if he can have that early impact again here. I think a huge amount of it once more going to be trying to play around this Annie, the CC onto leader, and just work through that 1-2 combo with a ton of early damage coming through from Bo on this Lee Sin.
Yeah, that's the big thing as well. It's something that we've seen him multiple times in multiple areas of his own game, how to just do exceptionally well with. Maybe a bit of a trade back here on this top side. It is a Conqueror for Finn and press the attack onto Photon. Hook does land here onto Upset as he tries to just kite this one back. Nothing else going to be happening there. Very difficult really to kind of make anything going in that bot side. But again, like you said, kind of, you know, two very early skirmishing junglers. Level 2 going to be hit by Astralis here. Very early flashing, gets the stun down. The level 2 comes in here for Vitality. Upset flashes away and uses the Ghost. Kaiser trying to see if he can keep anybody interested, but it's Astralis' bot lane that has the early advantage.
Great job from Kobbe and JeongHoon there to actually burn these early summoner spells, pushing Upset back. Now, you can already see, unfortunately, 113 is pathing up towards that top side, so it won't really be for a while that he gets back down here to try and punish that, but at least for the moment, Kobbe and JeongHoon getting control over that lane.
Photon trying to be aggressive here, but the wave's in a pretty dire space for him right now, and if the Olaf can get a couple more axes down, might see it. The jungler's already moving into each other as well. Top lane going to see a flash burn there by Finn as the jungler's going into 1v1 as well. It's Xin Zhao versus Lee Sin. There's going to be a little bit more damage. Flash for flash. Does he get another one? Bo goes back in! And Bo says, get the hell out of my jungle!
113 tried to flash the Sonic Wave, but it just barely pips him. And then Bo able to get away from the auto attack and follow that back through. That was so close to going either way.
That's the mechanical prowess that we want to see from Bo. That's what we were so excited for, because it is those moments, those small little differences that can mean huge advantages for the side of Vitality later on this game.
JeongHoon now on this top side though. Photon incredibly low. They know that Bo had to reset, so they're on a timer. JeongHoon wants to make it happen.
No flash here for Photon. He gets hooked up, taken down. Finn collects that kill, and Astralis get themselves on the board.
You can see Kaiser hovering around mid lane, thought that's where the play was going to happen, but nice movement from JeongHoon to make things happen in that top end and get that early control now for Finn, especially since the summoner spells had to be blown early for Finn. It'll make such a big difference for the Olaf.
Dagda, I'm excited. This is looking very similar to game number one.
Do you feel at home, do you?
I do. It feels like I'm back in the LPL. We got Bo here on Lee Sin, doing Lee Sin things, you know. Everyone's fighting. There's a support meta where everyone's a hard engage. It's like 2019, 2020 all over again.
The best style of League of Legends. Get the enchanters out of here. But have to be said, like, fantastic play here from both sides of the equation, right? JeongHoon, but also just going to see here with Bo, this is going to be the pro view, and spots 113 coming in. Yeah, manages to just about get enough of the damage here. You can see here, just barely hits the Sonic Wave. 113 tries to flash it, and then realizing just being able to drop vision for a second is the Xin Zhao can't get the extra auto off to finish him off.
Great start there by Bo in the jungle, but equally kind of equaled out there by Astralis. You can see their Finn having a little bit of a finer time as JeongHoon kind of moves himself up. And this is the thing, when you go with Xayah and the Zeri, your supports are freed up. They can kind of go wherever they need to be, and this is where we're going to have to try and see, you know, kind of the meta kind of shift back away from what we saw earlier in 2023. It was all about the bot lane, staying there for as long as possible, and it's about impacting the map, getting out and being with your laners and your jungler.
Oh, though, still sitting around on this top side, really wants to punish Finn, who has no summoner spells, and the wave is going to crash. Leader trying to move his way up.
Yeah, he's got no flash, got no ghost, and he's got nowhere to go. Finn is taking more auto attacks, and was he getting a little bit of regen, but good to see him there. Leader trying to move up onto here, but I think Bo is going to be just fine.
A response from 113 trying to move down towards the bot side, will pick up the dragon for himself, knowing that Photon and Bo had to reset. So nice job here already. We talked about Bo needing to have this early impact because he was just going to kind of fall off a cliff with the way these compositions work. So already 2 kills to his name and making sure that he's having his name known on the map.
All right, I'm going to call you out right now. Does he get more kills than he did in game 1? He had 11.
Probably not. Did it?
No faith in your boy Bo. The Bo show.
It's a little bit difficult when you're on a Lee Sin to have that high of an impact.
Right? Like, he just looked those 2 kills, make him look easy.
We'll have to see. We'll see who's going to be right by the end of this. But either way, I think you should start donating some of these kills across the Perkz. Won't be on the business end of that hook from JeongHoon, but you definitely want to try and get kills into Photon here. Although it's very nice to get the kill, you would like this Jax to really start to scale into the later portion of the game. He's running the Ignite, so won't be able to TP into a lot of these fights, but having that 1v1 over the Olaf is going to be such a big break point for Vitality, as Bo not going to be around mid, as Leader and Finn sharing time here in the mid lane now.
Yeah, Finn not really getting close enough to getting level 6. I thought maybe they would look for like a cheeky little play with the Ragnarok, knowing no stun could come in, but not really going to be happening in that sense of the game. And I love that you brought up the Ignite for Photon as well, because it really does hammer home that this is going to be a side lane Jax. Not going to be one of those Jaxes that we see, you know, kind of, you know, traditionally where they're TPing on the backside, getting a 2-3 man counter-strike on the back end and just kind of wailing on the AD carry, because let's be real, unless he's setting up 2 or 3 minutes before an objective, he's not going to get an opportunity to.
Well, I think it's kind of a difficult one. The Ignite is very necessary, I think, in a lot of these Olaf matches, and people kind of realizing, hey, look, this Olaf is going to be running the Ghost or some variant of it, so having that Ignite is going to make this matchup a little bit easier. I still think you're probably going to see Photon in a lot of these fights, simply because if Astralis just kind of let it go to the wayside, well, then you end up in a situation where you're always 4 versus 5. They've already got these early dragons, so I think by default they kind of need Photon to be part of that equation. Even JeongHoon now up here once more, trying to see if he can get that advantage for Finn, but it is leaving both the AD carries just kind of to their own devices with a cull on Gupset.
Yeah, Finn will pop the Ragnarok as the counter-strike goes down. Photon just walk himself away. Has Ignite now and his ultimate, but doesn't have the support of his team just yet. Now Bo and Perkz kind of moving up towards this top side. There is a flash on Perkz, but he's not really in a position to try and go in for any kind of big play right now, and Perkz might still think about it right now. JeongHoon I'm not sure you wanted to go for that. He flashes away, but the Sonic Wave lands, and Bo gets his 3rd kill.
Big mistake there for JeongHoon, trying to find that engage on towards Perkz, but there was never really going to be much of a follow-up. Vitality had already transferred all their members up. Astralis should have been aware of this, and now it leaves them in a bit of an awkward position where they need to try and make a play onto Photon, as he's going to be fine. Leader considered making a play on towards a dive in the bot lane, but that's going to go to the wayside as well. And Vitality, much slower pace in this early stages compared to last game where we're getting full-on skirmishes and brawls this stage. They're kind of just picking people off and keeping control better.
Yeah, I think Vitality are just kind of happy to kind of go, look, we're ready to go for this, and we're going to keep the same pace that we're looking at. If you're not ready to go toe-to-toe, then you're going to fall behind, and that's just exactly what's happening here. The Rift Herald goes over to Vitality as well. That's going to be a very dangerous Lee Sin coming into those first 15 minutes of the game. Already has a Gore Drinker at just under 9 minutes. That is so insanely accelerated.
Yeah, and it makes him very difficult to deal with in the 1v1 for 113, so he needs to kind of avoid him or play counter jungle, or sorry, counter gank for when they're going for some sort of terror dive. I imagine, though, the big plan here for Bo is move down into this bottom side of the map, see if he can get some resources into Upset. Upset hasn't gotten much in the way of resources in this game. Has got the Kobbe, which at least gives him a little bit of advantage when it comes to 1v1 because he just gets more gold out of that bot side. But I think now starting to try and get some plates into this area so she can become that late game carry is going to be very important.
You can see there on the gold graph, Bo nearly double his enemy jungler's gold total right now, which is kind of absurd. And we'll see if he can keep the snowball going. That's the thing. When Lee Sin gets going, gets these early kills, and gets these early items, like you said, becomes incredibly difficult to deal with and can make plays kind of on his own.
Bo, hovering around this mid lane, you got the TP back in from Perkz. This seems to be more of a case of can we get some Summoner Spells blown on Leader before this Dragon starts to spawn, but so many members of Astralis here. Vitality will spot out 113, so it looks like Bo is just going to back away for the moment.
JeongHoon is in the area. They will pop down a ward just to see that Bo is, in fact, sitting on the mid lane. Bot laners of Vitality were moving towards that mid lane, so if a big scrap had broken out, it definitely felt like Vitality had a bit more use of their champions to kind of work with.
Again, though, we're seeing Astralis going, hey, look, if Bo's there, we don't want to be part of that equation. So 113 moves back up towards the top side, starts blue, and JeongHoon still hovering around mid. I think they want to try and go up towards this top side, but Bo is kind of played around vision here. You assume that he's going to be sitting here for the dragon that's going to be up in 30 seconds time, but he's actually moving topside to make sure Photon is going to be okay to push in this wave with, as this giant wave starts to push in and keep him safe. Might be a little bit late to the party though.
Yeah, Photon's going to have a bit of an issue trying to deal with this, you would imagine, but it's still so difficult to deal with a Jax, especially with the Ignite available. Leader does not get hit by the Sonic Wave, but don't really feel like even a Xin Zhao and Olaf can really be 100% sure they're going to be able to get a perfect dive against a Jax with, you know, everything available.
Yeah, I think they just spot Vitality members on that top end and call it off. So now Vitality go back in towards this dragon. You've missed your timing window for Astralis on the top end, so they're feeling safe to go for this. Leader, though, has pushed mid, so maybe once more they're thinking about going for this with a 3-man dive. Photon going to back away. Perkz has no TP to try and help this one out, so Photon will lose out at least a little bit in the long run on this play for the dragon.
He's got to play weak side, though. You can see him. He really wants to put himself in position to take this wave, and that little bit of hubris is going to be his downfall. He flashes away. 113 tries to get himself out of turret aggro. They're going to be able to get this one. Photon 1v3ing, almost taking everyone else out with him, but nobody else dies from Astralis. They do get the successful kill.
It took 3 flashes, but they get the job done, and now Bo moving in onto this bottom side.
Oh, they get the perfect kickback, and that means Kobbe is going to an immediate ultimate to try and keep himself safe. That's going to be another kill for Bo, and they do give one over to the Zeri as well. TP from Leader, just too little, too late. And with the Rift Herald, Leader had lost his flash top.
And now Perkz with the ultimate. Shelly comes down and says, hey, Leader, how's it going? Doesn't look like you're having the best of times.
Oh, that's going to be a trade back, though, for Leader. Does get a massive amount of shutdown. That was 700 gold, so still a 1-for-1 in that regard. Lots of plates going over to Vitality in this bot side as well, but Vitality still coming out the better of the trade, you would imagine.
Well, Finn got all those plates in the top side. Is 113 in trouble.
He is in a lot of trouble, but they're going to see a lot of damage coming out from this turret. They're trying to just kite this one out, and Vitality are just gaining. Next challenger, please. They're going to take them all.
JeongHoon throwing the towel. You don't want this one anymore. Vitality are looking very, very strong, but top side, 1,000 gold lead essentially for Finn in that top end, having got all that extra gold. The 1,000 gold is answered though by Upset in the spot side. We said we wanted to see resources going into this Zeri, and that play definitely gave a hell of a lot of those kills and gold into the Zeri. So right now, Vitality feeling pretty good, I'll say, about their chances now. With a dragon to their name, they're going to be looking towards this next Rift Herald in a minute half, where I wouldn't be surprised if they shove in bot, try and catch this final turret, and then move up towards the top side for the Rift Herald.
I love this from Bo as well. Gets the immediate kick, which means that you're already taking so much damage here, Kobbe, before you've even mitigated it with your ult.
I will say, big hook from JeongHoon. Being able to prevent the immediate follow-up from Rakan actually buys a bit of time where you can then try and get Leader in here, but it's just a little bit too late. And really good job from Leader here to actually manage to get the turnaround kill. Shelly comes down, Bo already very low, and Leader just does a decent job of getting all that damage and the CC to make sure he can get the Chain Lash second proc to finish off the low health Lee Sin.
And again, that was a big shutdown. That was 700 gold now going over to Leader. Does mean he finished off his Sork Shoes after getting his Rod of Ages finished up here. Now Kaiser trying to see if he can help out Photon and Bo as the rest of Astralis are making their way towards this top side. They really want to try and put their strong side of the map to be top. They're going to jump in, flash away. Is Kaiser now getting caught up himself? Gets his quickness stolen away from him. Can he get away? That's the question. Looks like he can for the moment. 113 jumps in as we can see Photon with the counter-strike. It's a 4-man mock-up. They can continue to CC everybody down, and Bo is just taking everyone out on a silver platter. The Viking cannot last any longer. Your history is done. Triple kill for Bo, and you thought he wouldn't get kills.
I was gonna say, I'm glad I didn't put any money on that bet, guys. My God, Bo on the Lee Sin. He is having a phenomenal series here today. Now looking towards Kobbe in the mid lane, we'll just be able to clear it this way, but Vitality, they get the Terror in bot lane, they get the play in top. You're not really losing too much in the mid lane as well for all those antics, and Vitality now 5k in the lead.
I mean, I'm gonna wait until we obviously get the replay, but I think Photon getting a huge counter-strike as well was massively imperative to making sure that Astralis just couldn't really react to everything that was coming at them.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of AoE that can come out in that with the counter-strike. You've got the E for the Lee Sin, the Gore Drink in the middle of everyone. Perkz didn't have his ultimate available, but just even the W across everyone in that mix as well, and it means that the health bars start to go down very, very quickly. But Kaiser does end up going a bit too far here, but with the stopwatch able to buy so much time, get Photon into position, pull out some of the ultimates on towards Bo, and as you called it, Photon, huge CC in the middle of this, and then a ton of AoE into the middle, the knock-ups, the stun, and then just buying that space for Bo here, especially with the tower there. There's not really much space for Astralis to really try and chase this. I think they just needed to try and back away from this play so that they end up not giving over all this extra gold to Vitality.
And have a look at the pro view here, and Bo just gets himself so well positioned. Like, he gets ulted straight away because they know that the position he's in, how strong he is, but he just waits. He bides his time and gets a perfect kick.
I'm trying to see exactly what does happen with the kick, because, yeah, just able to get it through onto Leader, waits until he follows the Sonic Wave then on towards Leader. Really good stuff from Bo, and I mean, one of the reasons we were talking a lot about him joining the LEC, we're finally starting to get to see that carry performance from the Chinese jungler.
Absolutely. Like, this is what we were excited for. This is what we saw when this guy was kind of announced right now. The quickness comes in. We're going to see Kobbe going up into the feathers. The Q lands. He's very powerful, and he goes straight in on top of it. They're going to try and get the kick back. The Q again! It's the Bo show right now, and Vitality are loving it.
Kobbe didn't stand a chance. The flash in to get the range, and even Vitality are still pushing him bot side. Where was this Bo?
This is my Bo. This is my Bo right now. This is the Bo that I casted in the LPL, and this is why he was so in my head, was just going to be able to wreck people, because this is what he can do.
Absolute beast. 2 items now, another dragon, control for Vitality. And I mean, Astralis, second seed coming into this. Yes, they had the same game score as Vitality, but Vitality, we questioned what they would look like coming in here. Could they finally show up in the bracket stage, making sure they can move on into those top 4? And they want to try and make this another 2-0. Upset finds Finn, Perkz trying to get here 1-1-3 in the wings, so Vitality will back away.
And look, obviously, we're having a lot of fun here with Bo. We're getting very excited for Vitality, but we got to look at this from Astralis' point of view right now, because it's fast and loose, and it does feel like they're just not really having the answers right now. So where do you want to see them try and, well, we might have to see an answer here. Bo looking for a 1v1 against Leader. This is going to be the ultimate of the Jax that was thrown away. Konaku does miss back, but he kicks him back anyway. He's got the cooldown reduction. Perkz saying leave that 1v1 alone because he wants the damage. Bo with a kill. Can he get another one? No, he cannot, but he gets himself away. The flash forward. gets shut down. Goes over to the Olaf, but you've had to invest almost everything into this fight now. The Annie has enough damage to take down the Olaf. While this is happening, Photon's playing PvE.
And the fact that Vitality keep winning these uneven fights is just not making things easy for Astralis. Photon shoving in the top. Vitality now get to move to mid. Perkz will rotate to bot to shove in that wave. And the towers are falling continuously in favor of Vitality. The gold lead is ever growing. And you've got 9 kills onto Bo. 3-0, 3-0 for Perkz and upset. Vitality, this is exactly what people were expecting when they saw this team on paper.
I mean, on paper, everyone had the expectations for this team. And, you know, coming into Winter, it was a disappointing end to it. Winter Split was not where this team expected to be. And we can have a look at the replay here because, again, like, Bo just kind of goes, okay, you're coming into me. You're approaching me? You know, you're going to try and fight me? Nuh-uh, not happening.
And especially when leader, he does have the Jax ultimate, but it is a case of the more people around you, the stronger the magic resistant army is that you get. So Bo feeling happy to take this. Eventually Finn shows up, and Bo nearly feeling like he'd take on a second one, but 113 flashes away to make sure he doesn't get hit. Finn forced the flash to follow up, and Bo means they have nowhere to escape to when the rest of Vitality show up. So Vitality playing so well around Bo right now, and especially as you've got the Jax on the top side. That's a happy, happy Bo.
That is a very happy Bo right there. And you can see just how hard it is for them to contain him right now. No one, honestly, I don't think anybody can really go for it. Because even if you go in as Finn with the Ragnarok, you're not going to be able to take this guy on. You're a full item and a half behind this guy.
Astralis trying to see if they can make some sort of pick quickly happen here in towards the mid lane, see if they can get this low health mid lane tower down. Vitality look like they're just kind of going to give this one up. Although, as I say, that TP now from Perkz.
TP going to be coming in here to see if they can maybe catch somebody out. There is a flash available for Perkz, and he has got his ultimate as well. Bo is here, and Bo wants more to go. He's going to jump into 113. He's forced to use that crescent guard. He gets charmed up anyway as Leader gets himself taken very, very low. The Xin Zhao is dead. Leader has fallen as well. Photon on the flank, looking to see if he can get a counter-strike. JeongHoon can't go anywhere. He has nothing to do except just wait underneath his tower and hope the rain stops.
Oh, that was so sad. JeongHoon's like holding onto the tower, like, please save me. But there is no safety from Vitality right now. 20 minutes once more. We see them move over towards the Baron. Waves fully pushing in their favor. Vitality have come alive and want to make it to the top 4.
I mean, they want to not just make it, they want to stamp themselves in and say, look, we are the top dogs, you need to fear us. And again, it's like you said, Astralis, they have to go for these plays because they don't really have any other choice.
And it's a difficult one, right? I think Leader does the right thing here. Go on towards Perkz, prevent him from getting that big ultimate into the mid lane. 113 tries to prevent the entrance from Kaiser, but it doesn't matter. Vitality are relentless as they chase them down, and every time they try to turn around, more and more Vitality members keep popping up to whack them down.
A little bit of whack-a-mole. We can see there Bo looking for a 1v1 against 113. He's going to be able to get it a little bit. There is a crescent guard. No crescent guard, I should say. Bo, he wants it as much as anybody else. He heard you say he wouldn't get 12 kills. If he gets these 2, he will get it. He's 1v2.
What is happening?
He has his team with him, and they will be kill stealing away from him. Perkz gets himself a double because he used his flash.
And Vitality still have another member on the bot side. Every time they take the fights, you got to look at the other lanes.
Run! You can't be here right now. Flash away, but you've just given the Olaf over. He's gonna find himself going in. Oh my lord, I thought he was gonna land a Sonic Wave. But yeah, like Zeri's ending the game bot side. The Zeri is getting himself an inhibitor turret while you're losing members left, right, and center.
I mean, upset just like, yeah lads, big thumbs up, agree with what you're doing.
Photon,
I'm just
can we swap? Can we swap Photon? Yeah, cool,
nice,
cool.
Nice. I mean, neither have TP, so you might as well have this bit push 80 carry. So Vitality now just in a fantastic spot, dragging in 10 seconds, but do you really care? You have Baron, you have push, you have complete control, and they're just going to continue to put the hurt down onto Astralis.
We're going to see JeongHoon looking for something here. They put down the ultimate onto Bo, but not really going to have anything else. He goes back in. Bo has another kill to his name. He is taking over this game, and there's nothing Astralis can do. Does he take the Q? He wants this. He was moving towards it. He really wanted to go back in on top of that, but JeongHoon on the flank of ages, the flank of gods, but you cannot flank if your base is destroyed, Dagda.
He's a long way from home, and Vitality aren't going to stop. 22.5 minutes
in space.
And Nexus turret falls. Leader desperately trying. Kobbe trying to work with Finn, but the towers are falling, Oisin.
Yeah, they're going down. You got one last ditch effort here from the side of Astralis to try and keep themselves in this. But it looking like with all the damage, all the gold, all the items, and all the pressure in the world, Vitality are just toying with them right now. They still have Baron for 35 seconds.
Well, they need a wave, and it's about to roll on through. Astralis trying to kill him, but it's gone. Perkz catches him.
Yep, they're going for its leader, going back onto the fountain. They do land a Sonic Wave here. They're going to jump in onto Kobbe, and they're going to get another kill. He said game 1 was a warm-up. Game 2 was the real deal. And Vitality 2-0 Astralis in the fastest game of groups.
In a statement performance, Vitality lock in top 4. Incredible stuff. And Astralis, what? There was nothing they could do.
No,
this Vitality
was
was
overpowering.
unbelievable, just relentless in making sure they could continue that game forward.
Fun little tidbit that I discovered as I was doing my prep into this. Any game that I have casted of Bo has not lost. So if I'm saying to the Vitality guys, you need someone. That was a pop-off. That was 23 kills of a game. So you know what, Vitality management, if you need someone to be, kind of casting for Vitality, you let me know. I feel like I'm a bit of a good luck charm.
Yeah, I don't know what Bo ate today, but holy moly, that was a performance and a half.
He ate Astralis.
Oh, true. But I think the thing is, you're seeing the fact that, again, we were talking about this team as being a triple threat, right? Well, Bo now adding his name into the mix, it feels like everyone on this team can step up and be the carry when they needed to. Perkz, we saw him perform on Saturday against Mad Lions, where he was stepping up on things like the Yone to be the carry. Now taking a more facilitator role, going on to Annie 2 games in a row. Upset, still looking great on his performance on the bot side. But now Bo stepping up again to see that this is why so many people were fearing him as a carry jungler, when he can just pop off on these kind of picks.
Yeah, absolutely. Thumbs up. He's feeling good. He's feeling like it was a pretty good day at the office there for Bo. And look, for Astralis, it's bittersweet. Yes, you do get knocked down in towards the lower bracket, but you're not out. You have a lifeline. That is the beauty of the new LEC format. You're not done just yet. And, days like this happen. You just need to kind of sweep it up, get your prep down, and move on to the next kind of series. But vote for your player of the series at LEC on Twitter. Bo, Perkz, and Kaiser. I know where my vote is. I'm not going to influence anyone. I know where my vote is.
yeah, I think it's fairly obvious. But the fact, I don't know, that was it. I'm just so glad that we got to cast that series, because oh my God, that was incredible. And finally to see Vitality kind of breaking that curse a little bit, looking fantastic. It was great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was our final series of week 4 is just minutes away, but we're going to throw over to Frankie, who's standing by with Perkz.
Thank you very much, guys. What a series from Vitality. Perkz, you look like you're still catching your breath. It was so fast.
I look like I'm catching my breath because I got a little bit sick, like after we won against Midlands. Like it hit me that evening, and then yesterday I was like kind of dead, and today I didn't sleep the best, so I was a bit like worried. But thankfully my teammates are all really good, and I think I played good today as well, so I'm really happy, yeah.
So do you think that Bo was performing like that so that you could get to bed quicker?
Yeah, I asked Bo to carry me today, so that I can, I can rest and not give too much energy, so I can focus on the best of 5 next week. So yeah, he did just that.
Tell me about Bo's performance today. I mean, Xin, he's seen as a coin flip pick, and yet in Bo's hands, he just looked absolutely insane.
I mean, it's like Chinese Xin is just different. This is just facts. Like, it's not even like when a Chinese player plays Xin, it just looks like a different champion. So I always tell Bo, just pick, like, even though Xin looks useless, just pick him. You're Chinese, you'll smurf. And he did it, yeah. So yeah, he played really good with Lee this game, and the last game he played Lee as well. So yeah, I'm really happy.
Yeah, you should be. Talking about the first draft, it was kind of an Astralis draft from the look of it. What was the discussion going into this series in terms of how you wanted to draft?
I mean, honestly, I think we kind of predicted most of the champs they want to play, and like that they're kind of like, how do I say, one-dimensional in the way they draft. Like, it's very straightforward what they're gonna pick. They just like vary it a bit with like the difference of picks. Like either they're gonna play Sylas or they're gonna play like Elysion or something, But when they have Lucianami, they can't pick mid jungle together. So it's just like I think they are a little bit figured out right now, and I still think they have a lot of strengths and threats on the team. So I wish them best of luck in the next best of 3 for them. I think they can make it out for sure.
We were talking last week about how you felt on the last patch. How are you feeling on 13.6? Because so far, you've got a 100% success rate. Annie, Ari, Yone as well, so plenty of variety too. So what's it been like for you?
I mean, as for mid lane, I think you can play like a lot of things right now. Like there is still a lot of picks I want to play, and I haven't even got to play them because I'm getting this any picks. Like they really want me to play my Tiver. So I think it's great meta. It fits us really well, and yeah, I believe we can go all the way.
And who do you think you'll be seeing if you do go all the way? Say you make it to the final.
I would probably say G2 in the final. But it would be like either G2 or Koi. I think both of those teams are our hardest opponents. And of course, we are their worst nightmare. So I think it'll be, we'll probably meet Koi in the first BO5. And then, yeah, we'll see if we meet in the next one.
Wow, you're a dream on stage today. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Perkz. Get to bed, because we need to head over to your mate, Kaiser, because he's over on the desk. In fact, no, we're going to be having a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be chatting to Kaiser, because our final series of Week 4 is just minutes away. It's going to be VDS and Koi battling for a spot in the spring playoffs. We'll see you in a few.
Xin Zhao versus Lee Sin. There's going to be a little bit more damage. Flash for Flash. Does he get another one? Bo goes back in!
Flashes, but they get the job done, and now Bo moving in onto this bottom side.
Oh, they get the perfect kick back, and that means Kobbe has to go into an immediate ultimate to try and keep himself safe. That's going to be another kill for Bo.
Olaf. Yeah, it's fine. You kill. Slowly. I will kill him.
Slowly. Kill Olaf. Think fast, kill him. Nice. Good job, guys.